Hello everybody, another day, another game. We're about to start Gauson Vasco versus Levitas RockReborn. And today I'm here with TSK. I'm not really sure if you're here because he is picking up food, but...
I'm yet here, but
Okay.
I'll pick up the food now. So welcome everybody.
Hopefully he won't be chewing loudly on stream, we'll see. And there's a tactical pause going on from the start. It should be an interesting one. So far, all I know is that they're playing Romans. For Romans sometimes can mean long game, however not necessarily so. I would say the odds are a bit in favor for Gauson and Vasco, but I wouldn't count out Levitas and RockReborn. Especially Rock has improved quite significantly on random, and Levitas is not too bad a player as well. He prefers to play Egyptians most of the time, but maybe he'll show a good performance with Romans as well. We'll see. Yeah, so some teams opted for the pause, tactical pause at the beginning. I mean, it's fine. You gotta discuss how you want to approach the game, considering... because we don't see them now, but they know the layout of the spots and they know whether they're on the same side of the axis or the opposite one. And the game resumes. Right off the bat, we can see that there's the players are in fact not on the same side of the axis, and two of them are very close to the mirror, whereas two others are farther away.
And very interesting map. You have in the middle a very large mountain, and this will secure the border quite well. So we won't have too much towering aggression in the early game.
I need a few minutes to set up the thingy on the screen. Alrighty.
Really interesting map, I have to say.
Yeah, we'll see how the players in the middle choose to go about it. It's Levitas versus Gauson. And Gauson and Vasco picked similar colors, but I think we should be able to distinguish them after all. It's a nice land in the middle too. Very flat. Plenty of stone and trees. And they're sort of protected by the mountain behind them from the players on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, the majority of the pressure will be on the guys in the middle. Even if the players on the outside will have to attack over the mountain. Gauson managed to build the tower first, because White chose to make the Pious Street. I don't think he realized how close the mirror is. He lost a big chunk of land, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. If he builds another tower south, he should be able to secure, his portion of the mountain. There's a small mountain in the middle, the north as well. Could have a few decent mines. These small mountains are often rich with resources. Let's see how it goes this game. And considering that the spots are very flat, we might see some aggression early on.
I have to say these spots on the backline spots, basically, they're quite steep. So I think those players will be a little bit slower in the beginning than Gauson and Levitas in the middle.
Yeah, on the other hand, they have nice territory to build the wineries. Especially,
That's
I would
correct.
say RockReborn. He has like the hills positioned a slightly bit better, I would say. Although there's okay, currently he cannot place any winery. Oh no, he can. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Vasco goes straight for the white to apply pressure. I like it. We saw it in the in Steckenford and Exchange game. They put a lot of pressure on the middle guy, and he sort of fell apart. He had to build too many towers, and also in priority too, because he was afraid of losing some crucial buildings. And that way, they managed to throw him off of his standard build and kill him fairly quickly. And that's what Vasco is doing right now. Rock already sending his starting soldiers, the spears and the bowmen, to white, and I think he will keep the remaining soldiers patrolling the outside of his territory in order to prevent spying and all the shenanigans and defend his tower, obviously. Because just because you're on the outskirt of the map doesn't mean you cannot be attacked.
Correct, and it looks like they are expecting Vasco and Gauson to play something aggressively in the early game.
Yeah, I would say so. And I would expect similar thing from them. Although I'm not sure how aggressive they will be if they choose to go for... I don't think they'll choose to go for like some sort of all-in. Maybe early aggression, but nothing that will put them too far behind in case it fails.
And we already see that Vasco is building 2 wineries after he built 4 woodcutters, so this looks like he is playing something aggressively.
Yeah, he should be looking for the medium house before that, but yeah.
Yep.
Looking around, I think for Vasco, for example, the land on the south is slightly better, yeah, but he goes north just to cut off white from land and mountain and put the pressure on. But I think he much would prefer to go south. I think it's a bit better to build there.
I'm not so sure if it's a good decision to build 2 wineries that early and go for the towers to secure the land, because that is quite costly. So this might be a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, I think he needs the house ASAP, either small residence or preferably medium one. Because again, if your land is like long like this, you need a slightly more settlers to make it work. Gauson already spying. And I think he will... No, okay, he dodged that bowman. Luckily so. He's doing some distraction in the north, attacking the pioneers. Very annoying. And Lovida's already struggling to finish that second sawmill. Simply because he has to put so many towers in order to secure mostly the mountain in the south. And Gauson already has the second sawmill. Now going for the medium residence and doing the standard build with 2 sawmills and 2 foresters currently.
I really like how Gauson is planting his spot already and is shoveling his farm, has his winery shoveled, second medium house. He's looking quite upfront.
Very solid gameplay indeed. I wonder how their stress level is. I asked Gauson before the game and Vasco, they seemed confident, but You never know if something unexpected happens during the game. It might throw them off.
And RockReborn has a stone problem already. He only has 2 stonecutters, and his medium house is not getting built, and his sawmill is full of wood.
Let's see how Vasco solved that, because that spot in general doesn't have many stones early on. Yeah, Vasco is also struggling a little bit, but he already has the 3 stone cutters in the north, because the ones on the bottom are have virtually cut all of the stones they have around.
Yeah, well, I think it was a good decision to stay on 4 woodcutters. Now I see the stone problem on rock, and go for the towers in the north to secure all the stone. It's way more balanced, his economy.
Yeah, or in the south. I mean, there's plenty of stone in the south as well. The rock is
Correct.
seem to be going both directions. He built a tower north, just one though, or 2, and then he's taking the stone south as well.
Yeah.
So he won't be putting that much pressure on Gauson. I mean, he will be because he's taking the land, but not as fast as Vasco is. Before we dive any further, let's talk about the bans, because I think that's always interesting. So, Gauson was the first to ban. He went for Egyptians and Asians. I mean, the Egyptians are quite obvious choice against Leovidas, I would say. The Asians, I'm not really sure. Maybe he just doesn't like them. And then Leovidas banned Amazons. So that's how they ended up with Romans. And then Rock banned Asians and Amazons, I think hoping that Vasco would pick Egyptians, but that did not happen, and Vasco went for Romans as well. Have you checked their Power BI scores, like how they match?
Yeah, like the all-time score, there is Gauson and Vasco are leading with a score of 7.32 and 7.06 and a win rate of 60%. However, RockReborn has the most games with Romans and a score of 6.6, and Leovidas is the last one with 6.4. However, you can say that in the last 30 games, RockReborn improved quite a lot, so his recent score is 7.3, and the other ones are quite the same. So we see a small favor for Gauson and Vasco this game.
Mm-hmm. I have a similar feeling without looking at the stats as well. The first interesting thing for me, Gauson has the iron smelter, but not the weaponsmith just yet. I think it was on purpose too, because that weaponsmith is still blocked. He goes for the market, so presumably he will be storing some of the iron bars. He found a decent gold in that little mountain up north, and he found an OK iron on the right hand side. But so far he's quite slow with searching the mountains. I think it's a good idea to make a 5 early geologists, especially if you're planning to put some sort of pressure. Leovidas went for the farm already. Only one winery though. Interesting. Is that the result because he scouted Gauson? Or is just his normal play? I don't think he knows that the iron smelter is there.
Now the stone problem of RockReborn got even more extensive. His sawmills are now not only having all wood, they're also standing still. So he overinvested in wood and did not get his stone cutters at the time. But I think it will be getting better now as he built 2 more stone cutters and is getting back into the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's looking quite dire, as you said. I mean, the one on the left side, he needs to take a bit more land, a bit more stone fields in order to so that the stone cutter can work consistently. And he needs the ones at the south as well, desperately, I would say. But he's falling a bit behind Vasco currently, who is also struggling a little bit, but not as much. Already has stone cutters north.
Yeah, and we have to say both of those spots in the very beginning are quite heavy to play. Very steep, a lot of swamp, but they're getting better quite fast.
Leovidas is going for the spy. And it dies, unfortunately, but he managed to, I think he managed to see the weaponsmith being built. I mean, the ironsmith being built, and the farm. Not sure if the farm is a fake or built on purpose. We'll see. So Vasco, he did shovel 2 wineries at the very beginning, but has built only 1 so far. And there's another one in the north, but there are 2 more that are stopped from production. And he also has the iron smelter, much quicker than the weaponsmith. I'm curious if that's on purpose, because Gauson finished the iron smelter and the market, but he's not so far sending... Oh, he only now started sending the iron bars. And he's, I think, struggling a little bit to find good mines, simply because he doesn't have enough geologists to search the mountain quickly enough. Only 7. Yeah, I'm quite curious what's the plan for Leovidas. If that's on purpose, having 1 winery just to and play defensive. Or it's just an orthodox build, not really sure. Rock managed to unplug his sawmills. Luckily working, they still have a lot of logs. Maybe if he solves the stone issue completely and adds a few more stone cutters, he can add a 3rd sawmill in order to get rid of those logs, but he looks much better than he was 5 minutes ago.
And the first weapon of the game is produced by Leovidas, and it is a spear. So it looks like he's expecting something aggressive, and therefore doing spears to be on the safe side. Also, his land is quite small and round, so he doesn't need swords to run around. So I think spears are a valid option here.
Yeah, that's true. And he has this early farm, which I'd say is nice, but he's in quite a big danger of dying to early convert from both Vasco and Gauson. As playing if you play against Romans, that's the timing you should be very careful about. It's very powerful, especially at the beginning. So I would like him adding additional wineries ASAP, especially considering he has a pretty nice hill over there. You can just continue building them down, adding up to 4. Now would be a fine time. I understand that he wanted to have a weaponsmith early, the farm too.
And we can already see that Gauson is producing swords and is building his large temple, so he wants that convert push, I think.
That temple is shoveled, not yet built though. He's going for the small one. Yeah, we'll have to keep that in, like, keep checking that when he unlocks it, because if he does it very soon, then it's a level 2 rush. But if he waits for like 10 more minutes and then builds it around 30-minute mark, then it's a convert push.
Yeah.
And I think Rock should be aware of that, because there is a spy right in the middle of Gauson's land, so he sees both that there is a farm being built, that he's making swords, and that there is a large temple being leveled on the right hand side.
And as we see that Vasco just built his gold mine, and he will be doing some kind of gold for KK. Gauson on the other side will be the one who pushes.
Yeah, but it's not an all-in by any means, because they're
Yeah.
building farms too. Interesting one. So it's Vasco not going for the third and fourth winery. Instead, he goes for the gold, as you said. There's no gold smelter, right? And just yet, no.
No gold smelter. Maybe he's delivering his gold ore with the market and then waiting for later to convert it into gold bars.
Maybe. I would like him to look for a fisher relatively soon, as this mine will eat up all his fish, and also he sent a few to the coal and iron, so he'll need that desperately. And the mines that he placed, Vasco that is, are pretty bad, especially the iron one. I think he found he didn't have the luxury of picking. He just built the only one he found.
What I also find quite interesting is that Vasco indeed did plant his third and fourth winery, and now is building one of them already.
And also, he's only playing with a single forester. I think I like it there, because there's plenty of trees on his spot. He's building additional wandering woodcutters.
Yeah, correct. And you don't have a lot of stone, so either way, that was in the beginning a good choice to not build the second forester.
Yeah, solid the gameplay so far from Vasco, other than the only thing I don't like is the mine. I just checked, and Gauson, has way better mines. The iron one is almost 70%, and the coal mine is 85%. Levida's going for that large temple. He wants to have the level 2 ASAP. And adding an additional weaponsmith. Let's see how Levida's mines are. Not as good as Gauson's, around 50-60%, but they're improving, I would say. And that grain farm will soon start harvesting, so he should possibly look for, I'm not really sure if he wants to start with a pig farm or a bakery.
And Gauson is building his large temple now too. Similar timing, so they both will be having their level 2 very soon.
Does Rock still have the spy? No, I think it died. He's sending 2 more.
He has still his stone issue though.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I saw that, yeah. I mean, he's working on it, it's just not fast enough. And yeah, and as a result, he has not enough settlers currently. He's now only finishing the medium residence. And there's also no level 2 inside for him. He only now delivering materials to the small temple and finished the large temple a few seconds ago.
There you can see how a small stone issue in the beginning can snowball so hard that you don't have settlers, then you don't have stone, and this is just quite hard to get out of.
Yeah, I agree. I would say I think it's often better to just drop everything you're doing and go for the stone to fix that ASAP instead of trying to, use half measures to solve that issue, because it will be dragging you down for quite some time. And I think that's one of the more difficult aspects of playing Romans. You always have to look for new stone fields, especially now. I mean, in the early game, if you don't have them at the starting position, but also in the late game, when you're building a lot and you sort of depleting the stone that you have to go for farther and farther into the map to find new stone fields. Although Vidas has level 2, recruited the spears. And he goes for the pig farm. Gauson has the level 2 already, not yet clicked though. He only managed to save up 16 swords. Not that many. But he already has the second weaponsmith. And Vasco has collected already some gold ore. 27, so one of them will have the next damage spike for the swords. I'm not really sure if Gauson has the pioneers there to take the gold if needed. Oh, he's only now sending one.
I do not like the second iron smelter from Rock, because he has only one iron mine with 72% and 2 coal mines with only around 40%. This means he can only deliver enough coal to one weaponsmith and one iron smelter. And this will lead to a waste of materials at that stage, I think.
He found some nice iron on his the starting mountain, but he has not yet taken it.
Yeah. And he has not the settlers to take it now, so yeah. He should have rather invested into another medium house first before he builds the other buildings.
Yeah, Rock, since the very beginning of the game, cannot make out of his initial problems with the stone, then with settlers, now with land that he cannot take. It's also the snowballing out of control, and there's a push going down from Vasco into the Leovidas. I'm not really sure if it will work, because Leovidas did recruit some of the spears, but at the same time Gauson is pushing from the north side of the map. Let's see who has gold. It's Vasco. It's 41% combat power. Nice crash there in the north. It's a smart choice.
Rock spam pinging him.
I think he should be able to hold, right? I know that he's not killing much on the left hand side, but Vasco soldiers are getting pretty weak, and he has plenty of spears to defend their right attack, but there's another one going from the south, and that tower is completely unprotected. I think this one will fall, although I'm not sure how much damage it will deal. A multi-prong attack. Nice play there, but there will be only this one tower will fall. Possibly will crush maybe the winery, definitely the woodcutter. Oh yeah, just the woodcutter, so the small victory. There are some of the Leovidas soldiers overextended into Gauson's land and will get surrounded and unfortunately die. A bit of a miscontrol there. I guess Rock wasn't there to spam ping him this time, only now. A bit too late.
Yeah, and Rock is doing a minor mistake. He could have emptied his tower and filled it again, so he gets the mountain of Gauson, but he does apparently not notice that.
You think he will be able to crush the 2 mines?
Yeah, because his towers are empty.
Maybe one, like the coal mine.
Yeah, the coal mine, and he gets a mountain on the other side. So the coal mine would be quite devastating, actually, because he only has 2 coal mines.
And he will lose the bread, too.
Correct.
But there's another attack going down from Gauson. He's not giving up, I guess. And Leovidas is not reacting.
That is... Oh yeah, he's not reacting.
That spear in that tower is barely alive.
Yeah, that will die.
Dead. Yeah.
I think that's the GG.
Ouch. A lot of damage there then, almost the entire wood production, and Gauson's going for another tower. I'm not really sure what happened there. I think Leovidas just was a bit distracted from Vasco attack on the left side. He has some soldiers there in the south, but obviously he couldn't move all of them. I think he's paying the price of losing the few soldiers that he overextended into Gauson's land. after a previous attack, and he's doing the same thing now. Oh, he managed to
No.
recapture the tower, but there's another one is being attacked on the south. Luckily he has a spear inside. I think... Should he be able to defend it, or... He's not actually sending any more soldiers there, and Rock is spam pinging him again. I think he will lose the tower as well.
He is losing the tower now.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's...
Aye, they're picking him one by one. Nice attack there by Gauson. I don't think he will be able to recapture this one. And Gauson, I think, is going in for the kill at this point. Leovidas lost both of his farms.
There you can see that attention is also a valuable resource in Settlers, as Leovidas got attacked by two sides, probably being kept up with building, looking on the left side, and finally the switch from Gauson were able to get the one tower.
Now Rock is sending his soldiers. I think he managed to make the level 2, but it's a bit too little too late, and as you said, he does not have enough coal or iron, I mean coal mostly, to support 2 weaponsmiths. So his buddy was there mostly fighting on his own versus 2 players.
And for the viewers, they had 45 fighting power, percent fighting power at the moment they were attacking.
I'm not really sure if that's enough for the... It should be enough for the second damage spike, right? With the swords. Because first you get at like 37 and 0.3 or 38.3.
I think so, yeah. I'm not sure.
Let's take a look at Vasco's economy. I mean, it's looking very solid. Obviously, he is struggling a little bit food. He added the two fishermen, but they're not in the greatest position. He has 3 farms now, adding the pig farm as well. So he will run out of food very soon, but he managed to do a lot of damage so far. And that strategy they picked, the early push, without committing too much, obviously, because they have the farm still, is paying off greatly. The Rock is very slow at the reinforcements. He is only now going across the mountain, getting a bit slowed down by the snow. Interestingly enough, Leovidas is not giving up. He's still playing. I think the worst part is that he lost the 2 farms, so he's not really... He basically has to recover, like rebuild his entire country, and I don't think he can recapture the land that he lost even.
And this hurts now even more, as he has bows in the tower directly above the barracks and is building a tower directly in his economy now. However, the tower won't crush anything, will it?
Oh, the bakery and the
bakery, alright. But that doesn't make any difference for him.
Rock is doing a bit of a counter-attack. I'm not really sure if he can accomplish anything. Possibly not. Maybe they can use this time to take the towers back, though. Leovidas did have some gold, 42%. They're not letting him really do much. The moment he tries to recapture the towers, Vasco is pushing from the left side. He's always basically fighting 2v1. There's some reinforcements from Rock, but it's a bit too late. And when he's trying to take the towers back, he's losing the ones that he already has.
Oh, that hurt so much.
Yeah, I think they kind of fell apart. And that's a final blow. I'd say there's no recovering from that. There's just a lonely tower there in the south. Yeah, Rock soldiers are too late to the party. And even if this tower somehow survives, it doesn't really matter. Because Rock is playing 2v1 at this point. he's sending like lonely soldiers going across. I don't think he sees them or controls them. Vasco, I think, going for the killing blow, perhaps. I'm not really sure if they have the convert already. Wasn't really paying attention. Oh, it's about to kick in for Vasco, so he will possibly retreat for now, wait for the priest to arrive, and then do the final push with the convert. Oh, or Leovidas can just crash.
Yeah, I'm quite interested in what the other players will do with the impression that Gauson and Vasco are always playing something fast. Maybe one of the next games will be interesting when other teams are taking notice of that.
They're playing versus Metro and Lazing, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay, that's going to be an interesting one. I mean, very nice performance by both Vasco and Gauson. They had a pretty good idea with the push, and they executed it very, very well. Okay.
Yeah, they did not overcommit. They built their farms. It was not a full-blown rush, but to push your opponents quite early with swords is always quite effective, as also your attention is going away from building and investing into your economy.
Let's take a look at the final stats. I mean, it's not much of a surprise here. Vasco and Gauson with a significant advantage in terms of soldiers and the battles. Is a bit unlucky for Leovidas in this game. Rock underperformed a little bit compared to his normal performance in the game, in random games, like normal games. And he wasn't able to help his teammate to defend any of the attacks. And I mean, Leovidas did a pretty good job of defending initially, but then the relentless attacks from both Vasco and Gauson from basically 3 or even 4 different directions split him apart, and he started losing one tower by one, and eventually the damage was just too much to handle. Right, thank you guys for watching, and thank you TSK for casting.
Thanks a lot, you two. It was great pleasure, and see you next time.
Bye bye.